another artist, not a musical one, but a painting one. Um, want to talk about a Shep Ferry of Los Angeles. When we were doing the Aung San Suu Kyi campaign, we needed an iconic figure that we could rally around, that people could point to and say, this is the leader in Burma. So you could really do a great campaign around a piece of art like that. And I didn't know whether he would do it or not. A couple of my friends, Felix Levy and Brian Sergutz, talked to him about it. He said he'd be glad to see Jack, and they set it up for me, sort of. But I met him at I didn't yeah, I met him at a Starbucks here in Washington. He had come for the celebration of President Obama, and I was to meet him on the second floor. It was just us, his wife Amanda, and just the two of them and me. And I was very honored to meet him because I felt his artwork in the Obama campaign had brought so many young people into that campaign, and that election was so important. I felt indebted to him personally. You know, I'm an older guy. I'm not a younger guy, but I felt he brought all those young voters in for Obama, and that's a magnificent contribution to the nation. So I slid across the table a piece of art, the only valuable thing I had, and gave it to him as a gift for doing that. And he was deeply moved. And he said, "What is it?" I said, "Well, open it up." He opened it up, and he saw that it was one of his mentors' piece of art. And he literally started crying. I can't believe you've given me this. This is it was a beautiful piece of art. And he was really grateful for it. And he did, within a very short time, created the iconic figure that went around the world for us, that really created our campaign and gave it backbone that we could build around and build things around it and over it. And it went everywhere in the world. You can probably still see it to this day in many parts of the world, including inside of Burma and Myanmar. Yeah. It was it was a time when we were we had brought together 30 videos in May of, '01, I think, and it was a different video each day about Burma. And so if you watched all 30 days with 30 celebrities, 30 different celebrities, you would know all the problems in Burma. So there would be a substantial knowledge of information if you followed us for 30 days, for a minute and a half. We won lots of awards with it. We had 30 different celebrities in LA. Dan Adler was great. He did lots of it. June Gutterman, Prudence Clint Fenton, I forget the others, Jeremy Woodrum, and we pulled it out. We got both Republicans and Democrats. We got old and new. We really mixed it as best we knew how, and the people in LA returned it. It was really great. We did an album of music, and how that happened. The guy who was doing it kept coming back to me and said, "Jack, no one's taking my calls, or they just tell me off." And I tell him, "You work for Aung San Suu Kyi, and tell them off." And so he did, and he ran into Eric. I think it was Eric. Maybe it wasn't. I think it was Eric Clapman's manager, I think. And Eric Clapman's manager said, "Sure, I'll be glad to do that." And it started us off, really. We got McCartney eventually, and a Beatle. And, it just flowed. So we put out an album called For the Lady. Then we had the artwork of Shep Ferry. So we were building nicely at videos. And then we put together a movie. It was pretty much amateur hour movie, but what we want to do is put all the support behind Aung San Suu Kyi in one place. So you could send someone a CD and show them all the support in the world for her. So we're building the campaign as we did. And I visited Aung San Suu Kyi under house arrest, and Farrell and I, and she told us to go back and unify the movement, keep them very excited and working hard, and keep unified. So we brought that message back. But in a sense, she later turned on us because she she turned on the Muslims and allowed genocidal move of moving 1 million of them out of the country on some island of India, I think. and they're still there to this day. And we want her back in power, but also we realize we're putting someone who's a nationalist back into power, and that's not a great change. But the great change is we still want civilian rule over military rule. So that's how we feel about Aung San Suu Kyi these days. There's a story I want to tell about El Salvador. It was in the hottest, the warmest, and trying days of the fight in El Salvador, where the United States was shipping in quite a bit of money every day. And, they eventually got into trouble around the Contras and all that, and because they were a terrible bunch of human rights abusers. Um, where the guns for sale by Reagan with Iran and all that kind of political stuff going on. But what I want to talk about is the killing of the Jesuits. There were six or seven Jesuits teaching at the University of El Salvador. And a gunman went in there, or guns went in there and killed them, as well as the housemaid and her child. But we also at MC had a witness. We knew who did this, and we not only knew who did it by the witness, we also knew that the rebels could not have gotten into town and the center of the capital and be able to do that kind of strike to do that. So this was Thursday night. Friday night, and we're talking about it with London, who's doing this great research, and they knew who the witness was and didn't want to give the name out because it would endanger them. So, Jack, make sure you get this across to the American people as best you can. So I did, and then Ted Koppel called me a Friday night, and he said, "Do you really have the story?" And yes, I said, "Yes, we do have the story." And here's the story: the rebels could not get into town, and that they were killed by El Salvadorian soldiers. There's no doubt about that. And he said, "Well, I'm meeting with the ambassador tonight. Can I really nail him on it? Is your information firm enough?" I said, "Yes, it was firm enough." And sure enough, it was, even improving long term. And then on Sunday morning, Dick Cheney went on, I think ABC or one of the morning shows, and said, in the killing of the Jesuits and the lady and her baby, we don't know who did that. Like, whether it was the El Salvadorians or the rebels, he was indicating it could be either. It was a lie. So I had to go. I called ABC and I said, I have to go on in the morning. I have to confront what Dick Cheney said. And I did. And I told the truth that the rebels could never get in town. This was an El Salvadorian hit. And the United States shouldn't be funding that military there. They were vicious killers as well as anybody else in the region. So it had some effect, but I don't know how much. But that is my story about Dick Cheney and the El Salvadorian Jesuits. And to this day, I think the Pope is considered for sainthood or something like that, but they're badly missed by the Jesuit order.